we have been unable to find what the cause of this is yet and what we can do to prevent it, right?
Well, there's like anything else, and Mark can expand on this. There are theories there with plaques and towels, breaking of the nerve endings and that stuff to help communications. But we're not there yet. As I mentioned earlier, mainly because by the time the diagnosis, by the time they get some people into these clinical studies, they're way further progressed than really we need to be. We need to go back to the heart type of theories many years ago, where they catch the people early, study them early, what the progress is going to be, what's causing it. Therefore, we can make greater strides. But Mark, if you want to expand on that.
There's a kind of a protein called amyloid, and everybody has that in their brain. You do, David does, everybody does. But people with Alzheimer's disease develop more of that, and that's what causes, as David said, the plaques and tangles that are in the brain that kind of short circuit, for want of a better word, the way your brain works. Certain impulses will just stop here and stop there. So that basically is known as what causes it. But again, then you go the next step back, then how do you stop that, or how do you prevent that? That's what they don't know. We were at David and I went to a conference back a couple of years ago, and one researcher after another said, we're very close to something major. Researchers really believe that they're very close to maybe the ultimate answer. We don't know, but something very good is about to happen. They really and truly believe.
I was telling Mark the other night that I go to a chiropractor down in Hudson, Dr. Dennis Anderson, once every 3 weeks, and he is very anti-retirement because he said he will notice in his patients that retire 12 to 14 months after retirement, there is the beginning of the decline. I remember reading about a group of nuns who were incredible, and they were in their 80s and 90s, and they were always using their minds. And although their bodies had aged, because they kept active, they would do these different things, challenges, and kept using their minds. None of them had Alzheimer's. And something I read in the article was the brain was considered like baseball player goes to spring training and you exercise your muscles to get back. Well, they said the brain is like a muscle that if you keep exercising it, it stays in shape. Is that a false generalization?
No, it's like anything else. That's true. And if you'll see in most of our materials or our newsletters and things like that, we give crossword puzzles, other type things to exercise your brain. Socialization's another thing that's really good. People communicate back and forth. So there's all that healthy lifestyle anecdotes is really what our theories start with. If you can do that, it wards off other type of problems that therefore can make your mind stronger and your body stronger.
And there's a very well-known neurologist here in Albany who takes care of a lot of people with Alzheimer's disease, who one time told me that research showed that one of the best things you could do, maybe the best thing you could do, Joe, and so this basically leaves me out, is dancing. Dancing helps you because of socialization. You get exercise. You're thinking about what you're doing. And he told me that dancing, I asked him about crossword puzzles, a lot of other things. He said, I read that dancing is the best thing you could do.
Now, David Gregory, before going in there, we were in a telephone conversation yesterday, and he said, although you're not Arthur Murray, you would be sampling today for our viewers some of that dancing. So
I hurt my ankle yesterday. Next time.
Isn't that you say? That's very dancing.
Yeah.
That must include, like, then it's good to hike, just take a walk around, mow the lawn.
Sure, and anything like that, mowing the lawn, any physical exercise, it helps you. You got to remember, it helps your breathing. It helps all those things. So when you have Alzheimer's disease, the things that Alzheimer's disease will affect, you become stronger with that. So in other words, at the end of Alzheimer's disease, near death, it stops your abilities to eat and drink. But if you have a stronger body, that's going to slow that progression because you are stronger and can recover quicker.
What would you gentlemen have to say to folks who have just discovered that a relative or close friend has Alzheimer's, or maybe they themselves have Alzheimer's? What can you say about the journey that they're about to embark on, and how can you assist them?
Well, there's many ways. Mark had said earlier, each case is different. But I think one of the unique things one of the people we deal with up in the Adirondack region. Her husband has Alzheimer's. And this is a great journey for her. It's a positive journey for her also. I think we've got to remember, just because somebody has this disease, they're not gone. They're still part of family. They still have feelings. They still care. As the disease progresses, other things will happen. As Mark said, every day is a new day. Every day is a new hello to some people. So you have to look at the positive sides too. Positivity is also another way of slowing this down. You know, if we get into negatives about everything, that creates more problems for people. So make positive on it. Get to your to your gerontologist, your neurologist, if possible. See what's coming up. Talk to our association. They'll help you with some certain things. It's a unique thing. It's an extremely fast-growing disease. Every 70 seconds, somebody's diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. But don't take it as that it's the end of the world. There's so many things positive that could come out of this.
And also, I think the most important thing is you're not alone. You do not have to do this journey alone. The Alzheimer's Association is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a toll-free helpline number. There's always somebody there who knows something about Alzheimer's disease, and it's 1-800-272-3900. That's 1-800-272-3900. And no matter where you are in the country, if you're in Albany, you dial that, it'll come to our office. If you're in Syracuse, you dial it, it'll go to that office. In Buffalo, same thing. Cleveland, you can tell all of your relatives about that. Also, not being alone, we have support groups. Every chapter has support groups. And it's very valuable to get involved if you're a caregiver in a support group, because other people have stories. People laugh together, people cry together. We bring in experts. Experts come in and help you. Again, don't go it alone. You don't have to go it alone. Frankly, you have to take care of yourself as a caregiver. So take care of yourself first so you can take care of the other person, and make sure you call us and get involved in support groups. That's the best advice I think I would have. And a major step forward came when Nancy Reagan was talking about her husband, President Reagan.
Right.
And that opened a lot of people's eyes to say, wow, he was the president, he has Alzheimer's disease. I guess it's not so bad. I better go get checked out. Or, okay, now I can admit that I have Alzheimer's, or somebody else in my family does.
Earlier, David Gregory, you talked about the economic drain on a family, and I don't want to get you into politics, but is that going to lessen with this the Obama health plan when that takes effect?
Well, I don't believe it's going to lessen in that respect. There have been some good things coming through the administration regarding that, but this is, a lot of those are long range. The immediate effect, people with jobs, once again, now one of the problems with Alzheimer's disease is the moral value of it. You know, would you, or not, I don't mean it that way, many people are afraid to admit it because they know the effect it'll have on their job or their employer.
Sure. What
does that happen? So I think those are the type of things we have to look at. What the immediacy, what can happen immediate, what can we do immediate for this generation. The overall thing of the health care plan and those sort of things, I'm sure there'll be probably better treatments and those sort of things, but I think the initial thing is still the family itself.
But one of the things we always are fighting for with the Alzheimer's Association is enough money for research, good money for research. Again, the researchers believe they're very close to a breakthrough, and they're very concerned that if there are cutbacks in research money, then not only won't we be able to bridge that gap, that we might be that close to an answer, but maybe young people coming up and going to medical school will say, I want to go into research, but I won't go into Alzheimer's research because there's no money there. Not only won't I be able to get the resources I need, but I won't be able to make a living. So funds are needed for research in Alzheimer's.
For instance, Joe, as you know, there's been much money put towards AIDS, prostate cancer, many of the cancers, research money put there. And they're seeing a decline in the death rate on those diseases. Since 2000, the death rate in Alzheimer's disease has grown 46.1%. However, with prostate cancer, it's down 8%. Through breast cancer, it's down. So as Mark says, we need that influx of research money to help try to slow this down.